Hey, you guys, what's up? So we're going to talk about the state of niche websites today. And I'm really looking forward to reading your comments in this video and hearing what you have to think, because we're not all going to agree. And I really want to hear from your experiences as well. So a lot of people would know me on this channel from To Create a Website, right? That's been my most successful website by far. I was very blessed to get started early. I have a lot of different residual affiliate programs that are paying me money over and over again, and I've diversified my income very well. But my more successful site in terms of conversions has been by far my hair website, because I learned a lot about To Create and things that I wish I had done. For example, niching down to a very specific audience, because I learned that that's how you get better conversions. And that's why I was going on and on in that last video about the importance of having a niche. You guys, I sent out an email. Many of you know I sell shirts on Spreadshirt, and I do pretty well. And I started an email list about, I guess, close to a year ago, maybe not quite a year ago. And it's only for people that are interested in the shirts. So it's a very small list. It's growing very slowly, probably about 8 subscribers per month or so, but it's growing. And I sent out an email, what was it, Monday? You know what the open rate was on that email? 85% of the people that got the email opened it. 85%. You know what the average open rate these days for email, at least in content marketing sites, is 30 to 50%. And it's why a lot of people are saying email doesn't work. And I disagree. I think email works when you know who's on your list and you're sending them things that they want. And I think that's really what people struggle with. And also, retail emails often have higher open rates because people expect sales, kinds of emails. So that's also understandable. But even my content for that site, when I sent out an email to my list, I will never forget this. And some of you may remember the screenshot from my blog post, but I sent out an email when I had 1,100 subscribers to Naturally Curly. This was a couple years ago. Out of those 1,100 people that email was sent out to, 1,000 people opened it. It was a 90% open rate. From an affiliate marketing standpoint, if Naturally Curly had the same residual high-paying affiliate programs that To Create a Website has, even with less traffic, that site income-wise would rival To Create a Website. It would, because my conversions are that good. And that was such a big lesson for me, because when I created To Create a Website, I was still working a full-time job. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just throwing out content, and I was not strategic in any way, didn't create an email list right away. And I learned a lot with Naturally Curly. And so I'm using that in many ways as a template for this new site. And that's why in my affiliate marketing course, I'm always talking about that site, because I did so many more things right than I did with To Create a Website. And I think that's how you should approach building a website today in many ways. The only thing I would change is you need to have a product for long-term success. Now, Justin FH, shout out to Justin. You left me a comment in the last video, and I was glad that you did, because this is something I want to touch on. He talked about going too niche, and a lot of people struggle with their sites because they feel like they're in a box when they narrow down too much and they run out of content. Let me tell you, Justin, I have been there. Some of you may remember the site that I created back in 2013. I did an anonymous site, didn't put my name on it, even used a different Google Analytics account. I wanted to make sure it was completely separate from anything that I had done, because at the time, we had Google authorship and Google author rank, and I didn't want people to say, well, you only got traffic because you linked it from your sites and all that. So I kept it anonymous, also for competition reasons too. And the first 6 months, the site didn't do much, got about 200 visits per day by the end of the 6 months. In 2014, the traffic grew to 500-600 visits a day. It peaked in 2015 at 800 visits a day for a very, very short time. And then in 2016, it sort of leveled off to about 500 visits a day. Now, this is a site that I've updated once in the last 18 months. And the primary reason was because I got bored and burned out, and I didn't have enough interest in the topic, which for that site was okay because I was really just doing that site to see how difficult it was to rank on Google. And it is much more difficult. But had this been a site that I was truly passionate or interested in, I would have obviously gotten on YouTube more. I would have gotten on social media, and I would have built an authority site, which is what I recommend people do today. This is an authority site. My natural hair site is an authority site. You don't just want to rely on Google for your traffic, and you don't just want to make a 30, 40 page website, because that's all that site is. It's a very small site. I even tried outsourcing content for a little while, but it didn't make much difference in the traffic. So I just ended up leaving it alone because it's still making money, but it's just not worth the time, to put into it. But I did want to show you those stats and make the point that I have run into that, because me personally, I have to be in spaces where I'm constantly learning new things. Otherwise, if I'm not engaged in that topic or actually learning, then I get burned out. I have to be learning something new. And with that topic, it was something I had learned, but I wasn't learning anything new. And so I was like, well, what else do I say? So what Justin was saying is that he doesn't think you go niche. He likes choosing broader topics and using a content tilt, or what I'm always saying is an angle. And so, for example, let's say you choose fitness, which is a broad site, right? Or a broad topic. But instead of niching down to a very specific niche, you have an angle or a content tilt. So your tilt might be you register 5minuteworkouts.com. And so everything you do is about doing workouts in 5 minutes or less. And so you use YouTube to build up your channel with your 5-minute workouts. And that's your angle that helps separate you from other people. So because people don't have that Google traffic advantage in the early days like we used to. I mean, you can still get some, obviously, as you saw, but not nearly as much as you used to. People are doing away with the niche site, and they're just going broad and using social media and other outlets to draw traffic to their site. And that's fine too. There's more than one way to have success online. My point though is that when you have an email list, and that's what I learned from Naturally Curly, you need to know what those people want on that list when it comes to selling a product. I'm not talking about what I'm doing on To Create with all this passive residual income everywhere where I haven't had to track anything. I'm not talking about that. A lot of you guys were way, way, way focused on the 80,000 subscribers, when real talk, I got the majority of my subscribers from a small percentage of my videos, and getting started early really, really helped me. And if you see, I'm not getting anywhere close to 80,000 views. So that number really does not matter. We got to really stop focusing so much on volume and more on conversions. People who really thrive in business really track conversions. And with this new site, with this new email list that's going to be very focused, meaning everybody that's on that email list for that site is going to be an infopreneur that's interested in selling their own courses. So I can speak very specifically to those people, and that's hopefully going to help conversions. Now that site may be very small. It may never have the subscribers and everything as this site, and that's fine. But I want to learn how to get better with conversions in email, because I disagree with the notion that email marketing is dead. I think people who say email marketing doesn't work just hasn't figured out how to get it to work for their site. Because I meet people all the time, you guys, at conferences and meetups where they're killing it with their email lists. See, with To Create, I never really had to learn to master because I've, diversified so well. But with this site, it's going to be a different story. And I think this site is going to be much more relatable to people who are starting today, because I think that's how you build a website today, really. And people who take my affiliate marketing course, the people that I've heard from that are making money are the people who are approaching it like I approach Naturally Curly, the authority site, where you're building up content over time and you have a body of knowledge on a specific topic, but you still have a focused audience. And you guys, that's one of the reasons I'm always so redundant. I don't think I do it enough here on YouTube because I don't make enough videos. But to my loyal subscribers, I'm always talking about how much Google has changed. The reason I do that is because I want people who are starting today to understand what's realistic today. And I don't want them buying something from me under false assumptions or anything like that. And so it's important for people to understand that this is not about making quick money and ranking on Google and getting 10,000 visits a day in 6 months anymore. Not for most people. So that's why I'm so redundant and I'm always repeating myself when I'm talking about what's changed, because I always have new people coming in. So I'd love to know and hear from you guys what your opinion is on all this. Did you choose a niche site? Did you go too narrow? Did you go broad and you're not worried about narrowing, niching down? And are you just getting most of your traffic from social media, YouTube? What's your experience been like today? So let me know.